I'm quite certain that a lot of people would be able to relate to how Jesus is feeling at the beginning of the passage I read for you from Mark. Overworked and exhausted, Jesus is in need of some alone time. And so he enters a house hoping that nobody will know that he's there. But if you remember, that moment of calm is quickly interrupted when a woman bursts into the house, bows down before him, and demands that he bring healing to her daughter. At first, Jesus tries to send the woman away, saying that her religion is not his religion, and therefore it would not be appropriate for him to help her. But undeterred, like many mothers, she responds with a strong argument, which then leads Jesus to offer healing to the daughter. This unwanted interruption opens Jesus to a new perspective. Compassion is extended to those outside his faith community. Just as Jesus was interrupted by a desperate mother, our lives have been interrupted by a pandemic. For many of us, this interruption has led to new perspectives. This has been true in my life as well. Although I've always believed in the priesthood of all believers, the pandemic has given me a greater appreciation for what that means. As a pastor, I strive to maintain connections with the people in the church I serve. During the pandemic, that became increasingly more difficult as I wasn't able to shake hands with 150 people every Sunday and be able to go visit people in their homes and in their assisted living facilities. It became clear to me during the pandemic that even though I wasn't able to maintain the same level of connectedness, the people in this church were doing an amazing job of caring for one another. Debbie just referred to that in her message. I have learned during this pandemic to do a better job of trusting that others are carrying out the ministry of the church and that it doesn't all fall on my shoulders. Another new perspective that many have mentioned already is technology. I was born at the end of the baby boom generation, and the use of technology doesn't come naturally to me. Over the course of the pandemic, I have not only learned how to use new technology, I have discovered that technology is a powerful tool for ministry. Offering Zoom options for people attending worship and study groups has expanded our church's ministry. People can attend from other locations when they're feeling ill, when they're more comfortable being in the safety of their home, or even when they're in another state. Even though we all know that God isn't confined to houses of worship, the pandemic has offered a powerful reminder that we can worship and serve God everywhere, including the front lawn of this church and in our homes. As others have pointed out, the pandemic has led many of us to examine our lives and focus on the things that are most important. These lessons will bring an even greater depth to the relationships that we have with our family members, our friends, and this church. I anticipate that there will be continued joy as we apply these lessons to the future. I also anticipate, in the same way that Jesus was open to helping someone who he believed was outside his circle of faith, God will continue to open us to see new ways in which to offer healing to others. With such service comes great joy. I hope that these messages that you've heard today have inspired you to reflect on the lessons that you have learned during the pandemic and the joys that you anticipate. As Carl mentioned, next Sunday we are going to offer an opportunity for others to step forward and perhaps make a brief statement about something you've learned, or in some cases, maybe offering an object on a table here that reflects something that you discovered about yourself during the pandemic. We do indeed give thanks for new perspectives. Amen.